Today, I would like to talk to you about intercultural communication. What is intercultural communication? According to OUM's Introduction to Communication module book, intercultural communication is a symbolic, interpretative communication that is considered as a contextual process because of the degree of variation among the interacting individuals. Intercultural communication is very important among Malaysian societies because Malaysia is a multiracial country consisting of many races, namely the Malays, Indians, Chinese, Sarawakians, and the Sabahans in the nation. These races then leads to different cultures and etiquette as well. In today's era of globalization, both culture and communication have evolved considerably and become interdependent of one another. Since each culture of each races has its distinct aspects and unique characteristics, intercultural communication can be the cause of conflict and disorder. There are three challenges faced by intercultural communication, locally and also globally. But let's talk about the challenges faced by the Malaysians, such as ethnocentrism, language barrier, and cultural diversity. First of all, ethnicity has been the most constant social problem in Malaysia, and as such, living together in harmony with different ethnic backgrounds, culture, language, and religion has not been easy for Malaysians. The ethnic diversity in Malaysia is attributed to the massive influx of Chinese and Indian immigrant laborers into the country by colonial rulers. During the British colonization in Malaysia, there was little social contact among ethnic groups. Their social interactions were restricted to only offices, workplaces, and marketplaces. The various roles and status of the British government, as understood by the Malays, Chinese, and Indians, has resulted in three groups being divided in terms of occupation, living spaces, and education. Feelings of ethnocentrism can afford one's reaction and make them judge others according to what they feel in their own biased perceptions. Until today, in these modern times, ethnocentrism still does exist in Malaysia. The next challenges faced by intercultural communication among Malaysians is language barrier. Malaysia tends to mix everything in the nation, from races to cultures, to food to even language. Malaysia has its own mother tongue, however, most Malaysians prefer to communicate in English. Unfortunately, Malaysia is so unique that they create their own personal language. 3 different languages in one sentence sounds too odd and impossible to you? Not for the Malaysians. For an example, a 13-year-old Chinese girl that only has basic in English and Malay language would converse in sentences like, Ni hao keke, boleh kamu ambil ini ya? Ini I bagi you. Language is one thing, but body language is another. Malaysians use body language as it makes it much easier to converse. For example, showing the palm of your hand. Malaysians take the hand gestures very seriously in any situation, in any places, in everywhere, with everyone. Showing the palm of your hand can mean many things. The best part that one should experience when visiting Malaysia is the power of hand. The last challenges faced by intercultural communication is cultural diversity. What is cultural diversity? Do we really understand what cultural diversity is? What happened to Malaysia's catchphrase of strength in diversity? When the world has come to realize that cultural diversity should be respected Malaysia has seemed to be going against it, introducing racist extremist elements that were never part of our cultural diversity to begin with. For more than 60 years, Malaysia has boasted about the diverseness of its people, standing proud and tall with dignity with more than 15 different races, 137 languages, and at least 7 different religions and faiths. Malaysia is a lot of things because we complemented each other, seeing value in each other, tapestry that is part of Malaysian life. However, the recent celebration celebrated by Malaysians has just brought home how polarized we are. For example, Malays celebrating their Hari Raya and having a great holiday with their friends and families of the same races, while other races were at work. Shouldn't we be celebrating any festivals in Malaysia together as a true one Malaysia would? These elements have exploited our racial distinctiveness and polarized us rather than unite us. In fact, there is an effective strategy on how to improve intercultural communication skills among people living in Malaysia. The most effective way is having self-consciousness of intercultural relationship. This means that one should be alert and has the interest or the desire to want to know the others in an attempt to learn about them by engaging with them in the real world. Malaysia is a multicultural realm comprising Bumiputra, the Malays, and the minority groups of Sabah and Sarawak, Chinese, Indians, and other ethnic groups. Self-consciousness or self-awareness indicates close association with one's culture and the culture of the other. It reflects the notion of being mindful of each other's presence given that Malaysia is a multicultural setting. Self-awareness encourages Malaysians to identify with one another and thus develop a sense-making of their own conduct as well as the other's language and behavior. Thus, the level of self-awareness as indicated in other studies is more likely to include awareness about national identity than other specific identities. Thank you.